Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears to some of the travails and tribulations that take place across our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And we got a story that is reminiscent of the Rosa Parks saga on the bus back during the civil rights movement that happened to a black female judge on an American Airlines flight. She is accusing one of the flight attendants of racism and harassment. So let's go. Use the restroom in the back of the plane. Retired black judge seated in first class claims American airline crew member threatened her with arrest over lavatory use. A retired black circuit court judge from Chicago is suing American Airlines for racial discrimination, claiming a male flight attendant told her to use the restroom in the back of the plane, even though she was booked to fly in first class. Judge Pamela Hill-Veal filed a federal civil complaint against the airline, alleging that the flight attendant, whose name and race were not disclosed, racially profiled her during a flight from Chicago to Phoenix on February the 10th. The lawsuit claims that the flight attendant accused Judge Hill-Veal of slamming the lavatory door when she used it the first time, and then began hounding the woman as she continued to use the same restroom even as she was rightfully seated in first class with members of her family. The flight attendant stopped me as I was returning to my seat and told me I slammed the restroom door, and I was not to do it again since passengers were sleeping on the plane, Judge Hill-Veal told NPR during a recent interview about the incident. The flight attendant's insolence didn't provoke Judge Hill-Veal, who said she ignored the remark and proceeded to walk back to her seat, believing the man was simply mistaken because she knew she didn't slam the door behind her. Later during the flight, Judge Hill-Veal got up to use the restroom again, leading to a second encounter with the male flight attendant, who attempted to dress down Hill-Veal again as she left the lavatory and headed back to her seat, the complaint says. However, this time, the reprimand was more severe and had clear racist overtones. He began to berate me by pointing his finger at me toward my face and saying, "I told you not to slam the door. So from now on, you are to use the restroom in the back of the plane," while he pointed in the direction of the restroom and coach, Judge Hill-Veal said. By now, Judge Hill-Veal said she felt the flight attendant was clearly using the restroom as a pretext to harass her. American Airlines issued a statement saying they have reached out to Judge Hill-Veal in an effort to get to the bottom of what happened. "We strive to ensure that every customer has a positive travel experience, and we take all claims of discrimination very seriously," the airline said. It wasn't clear if the representatives of the airline had spoken yet with Judge Hill-Veal, who claimed she endured the racial harassment throughout her entire flight. She said she never noticed any other first-class passengers complaining about the restroom door being slammed. She also pointed out that white passengers used the same first-class restroom without even being confronted. However, she said the intensifying clash with the flight attendant ultimately caused the other passengers to become annoyed at her. Judge Hill-Veal said she felt the flight attendant was singling her out for no other apparent reason than her skin color, and believes beyond a shadow of a doubt that the confrontation was racially motivated. The flight attendant got back in Judge Hill-Veal's face a third time when she used the first-class restroom again about 30 minutes before the flight landed, defying his earlier command for her to use the lavatory at the back of the plane. This time, while walking back to her first-class seat, Judge Hillville said the flight attendant shadowed her and then put his hands on her before vowing that she would be arrested as soon as the plane reached the airport. Hillville said she withheld any response and walked back to her seat. The complaint states that the flight attendant didn't like the way Hillville talked to him and accused her of assault, which Judge Hillville denied. There was a complete fabrication as I told him that I never hit him, she states in the complaint. Since the incident, Judge Hillville says she has struggled to rest due to the trauma and humiliation she experienced. She said, I'm still uncomfortable about flying because I don't know what they're going to say that I did in an attempt to cover up for what they did during this particular time, Judge Hillville said. The incident recalls the historical injustice of Rosa Parks being told to move to the back of the bus almost 70 years ago, which sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and galvanized the civil rights movement. Despite the passage of more than 6 decades since the situation involving Parks, incidents like these in 2024 highlight ongoing challenges with racial equality in the United States. Previously, American Airlines faced 2 discrimination accusations in 2023, one involving track star Sha'Carri Richardson and the other involving musician David Ryan Harris. Richardson was kicked off an American Airlines flight in January 2023 after a verbal altercation with a flight attendant, whom she claimed was harassing her for filming a video. The following September, Harris was traveling with his 2 biracial children when he was stopped and questioned at Los Angeles International Airport after a flight attendant suspected he was trafficking children. Yet, another incident involves a black man who has filed a lawsuit in Florida against American Airlines, alleged blatant racial discrimination. He was removed from a flight from Miami to Atlanta following an argument with a flight attendant during boarding. American Airlines has faced accusations of discriminating against black travelers. In 2017, the NAACP issued a travel advisory urging black people to avoid flying on American due to complaints. The advisory was lifted in 2018 after American implemented bias training and reviewed its complaint system. How in the world are we still having this going on in 2024? And I know we have a lot of people in America, especially in the middle class, that feel a heavy burden on trying to survive in this system of haves and have-nots. But for this particular flight attendant to verbally attack, or is accused of verbally attacking this retired judge, Pamela Hillville, is just disrespectful. It reminds you of the Rosa Parks situation 70 years ago. It makes you think, have we made any advancement at all in racial dynamics and racial parity? I'm sure, and this is why education is so important for young people today, I'm sure this flight attendant did not realize that he was talking to a judge who has been a lawyer for over 30 years. Civil rights, civil complaints are always being violated throughout our country each and every day. And for this particular scenario, for this flight attendant, he picked on the wrong person. This black woman was trying to take a flight with her family just to get from Chicago to Phoenix and got interrupted with this certain level of harassment by this flight attendant. But the flight attendant didn't realize that Judge Pamela Hillville knows and knew her civil rights and what harassment looks like. And this is a scenario where this flight attendant picked on the wrong person. Hopefully American Airlines can get themselves together, people are people, Money is green, and everybody wants to fly comfortably.